1723 Main Street.
Home of everything to do with Disney travel in style. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello-Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bello-Braddock. And today, what to pack and what to wear on your Disney Aulani vacation.
Yes, we're taking a listener request this week, so thank you. You know who you are for giving us a little idea for what to do for this episode. We're going to talk about what to wear to Disney Aulani in Hawaii. And it's a great episode idea because if you're going to Aulani for the first time in particular, yes, it's a Disney resort, but it's not a Disney Parks resort.
You know, I really enjoy the sort of fashion that you see at Aulani because it is a mix of, some genuine Polynesian fashion, oftentimes a lot of stuff like you can buy on and around the island, but it still does have a little bit of that Disney magic, and it's still very encompassing of the Disney feel because it is a Disney resort, of course, and it caters towards the kids and everything like that. So it's a really interesting blend when you're on site there.
And even more so because it's in between the Japanese sort of side of Disney and the North American side, and you really get to meet a lot of Japanese visitors, which is fun, and they bring their own unique style. So Aulani in Hawaii really is a sort of cultural and fashion and style melting pot of sorts. Well, not melting pot, individual, and you're going to see it all there. So what should you pack and how is it different? Because you cannot take your Disney parks and resorts planning strategy for packing and just overlay it on Aulani. You'll be missing out.
I personally also say leave space in your luggage for some outfits. It's the first thing I'm going to say. Disney Aulani has some of the most beautiful lines of clothing, like for men, women, children, everything.
Shopping on site.
Yeah, they have a lot of beautiful stuff, as well as if you're there, you're probably going to find some genuine like Hawaiian dresses, shirts, merch, everything like that you want to bring home because there's a lot of different cultural things on the island that are just stunning. So definitely leave some space in your suitcase is the first thing I'm going to say. You don't need to pack something for every day going into it.
And I'll add that the setting, location of Aulani in the town or city of Ko'olina on Oahu, it's a very luxurious and upscale area. So there's a lot of luxury resorts around it. There's a beautiful golf course, and it's just a very nice area. And that's going to be something you want to take into consideration for your packing. It has an excellent Hawaiian vibe as well. The Imagineers, unlike how I feel personally about the new Polynesian Tower at Walt Disney World, the Aulani architecture and design and everything they put into it culturally is exceptional. And I really wish they did that at Disney World.
Yeah, I think the resort itself does a good job of encapsulating, the Hawaiian, the Polynesian vibe and culture as best it can, of course, for being a Disney resort. It is going to have pieces of it, as any large resort in Hawaii does, that aren't totally in line with like cultural views and things like that. But overall, I think they did a good job being representative of that and also incorporating that into a lot of different activities that are available at the resort because there's so much to do. And that's very different than the so much to do that you would find at Walt Disney World or Disneyland or wherever else you're going.
Yeah, so it's a Disney resort, yes, but it's not a Disney Parks resort, so your packing considerations are going to be different. Plus, the other thing you want to take into account is when you're going to Aulani, please don't spend all your whole vacation on site at the resort. I mean, you could, but you're likely going to want to do some...
You could easily.
Yeah, but you're going to want to do some exploring around Oahu at the very least. Flying to other islands, that probably take too much time, but we certainly love to drive around the island. You can do everything, not everything in a day, but everything is within a day if you do a few day trips. So there are various microclimates around the island, and that's going to affect your packing as well. We are talking about, for the record here, travel between, let's say, May and the fall. That's when we go to Aulani. That's the weather we know. It's going to be different in the winter, so look up that. But generally, it is a very humid time.
Yeah, I was going to say, geographically speaking, it tends to be a little warm around Aulani, but it's a very nice sort of warmth. It's different than, say, like a Florida heat and humidity. I know white sundresses you could wear every single day. I almost did. There's lots of at least for women and little girls, it's lots of sundresses, skirts, different sort of dress pieces that are just like relaxed, very beachy, very summery, are common throughout Aulani and throughout the island because they're a little bit more versatile and they're wearable for a lot of the different activities.
And when we go, we stay in a villa because we go for 2 weeks. I'd say if you can go for 10 days or 2 weeks, you can do laundry in the middle so you don't have to overpack. That way you get access to the laundry. It's not a big deal and it's worth it for keeping room in that suitcase for things you want to buy.
But overpacking is fun.
Yeah, but it's
I'm ignoring my own advice. Don't overpack. But
So here's what I say. Put your clothes into 3 categories, and let's talk about now what to pack for each one. Here's how I bucket it. Resort wear and sort of casual chic, swim and beach wear, and then your casual wear, which would be as close as what I would say you'd pack for a Disney World vacation.
What's the difference between the first and third?
Okay, so let's talk about this in Aulani and the local area terms. That's what I'm talking about. So resort wear or casual chic. I'm talking about outfits, and let's get your input on what you think would be good for dining out at like Ama Ama and the upscale restaurants or the Marriotts or other hotels nearby.
Okay.
For relaxing around this resort at night, they have live music, and you might want to put on a nicer outfit than what you wear in the day.
There's lots of good hotel restaurants
And
around
I was
there,
gonna
or
say-
different luau's that are
Yeah,
good as
so
well.
and for visiting neighboring hotels, or even if you want to go for dinner at the golf club or something like that. So for the resort wear, sort of casual chic, I think for a man, I'll speak for the guy, this is where nice sort of shorts, even cargo shorts, but nice ones, not ratty looking ones, not necessarily camo pattern or something, a little bit nicer, but still shorts that you could wear other times. And a nice short sleeve button up collared shirt, really like a Hawaiian shirt. Come on, that's the ultimate. And if you have one, bring it. So that's what a guy would wear. Now, what would you think for sort of resort chic upscale for women?
I think it kind of depends a little bit, considering the weather, especially specifically as you mentioned between May and the fall. Lighter fabrics are going to be your best friend. So I know right now, at least on Pinterest, the very trendy thing is all like the linens, the whites, the beiges, stuff like that. Lots of, for at least like typically women and girls would wear, like, let's say linen shorts, linen pants, like a nicer, maybe a collared t-shirt, or of course the sundresses. This is where they come out. I went through so many sundresses. I go through them every single time I'm there. You can wear a different sundress for every occasion. Typically, I find like the whites are very nice with the backdrop of a Hawaiian sunset. If you're looking for pictures, stuff like that, white sundresses are your best friend because the island itself and the surrounding islands are very colorful just in the different architecture and in the plant life that's there. So having a simple white sundress can look stunning in a lot of different photos.
Yeah,
so
and we have some amazing pictures. I'll dig one up from one of our first trips. There are great sunsets there, and there are palm trees, on the grassy area where you can take those photos that you're talking about.
That's what I'm thinking about. Even if you want to think, like if you're going to a luau or something and you pair it with, like a lei or one of those necklaces, you have to think about what's going to pair sort of with that. Something simpler, more understated for the actual outfit would pair nicely with the accessories that you add later on in your evening.
So that is category 1. At least bring one outfit. You can wear it again. You're on vacation, but sort of something that's a little bit nicer. The next one is swimwear and beachwear. And this is not just one thing. So let me talk about the different things, and then you can provide your input, Amelia. So at Aulani, there's lots of pools, of course, and there's 2 amazing water slides. There's a beach. There is a rainbow reef, which is a very cold swim area. And you may want to, on your road trips, go to other beaches. You may want to go surfing. So you need to consider more than just one bathing suit if you're doing action sports. If you have a rash guard, for example, or you think you might want one, that's extra swimwear you would need to buy. So for guys, again, guys have it a little bit easier. We can get away in nice board shorts, but if you're going to surf or something, a rash guard's not a bad idea for a guy. Now, the Rainbow Reef, I don't know if you remember how cold that water was.
Frigid.
Yeah, but it's amazing. This is where you snorkel with the fish at Aulani.
This is where you go after it's been 110 degrees and you're really, really hot. Then it's nice.
So give me your advice. Give our listeners your advice for swimwear for Aulani and the island and surrounding areas and everything you might want to do.
Okay, like you said, I think it depends on the activities that you are seeing yourself do. If you are like, you know what, I'm going to try surfing, or you're an expert surfer and you want to try the Hawaii waves, definitely, you're not going to go surfing in a bikini for the most part.
Actually, a lot of the locals do, but they know what they're doing.
I was going to say, if you're not good at surfing.
And theirs don't fall off, right?
Please,
they're made for surfing.
yeah, like I was going to say, if you're not proficient at surfing, please don't come in a bikini. Even if you are, just make sure that it is higher quality and not going to fall off during that, because that would be unfortunate. If it's in the ocean, you're not going to get that back.
So the strings you might want to avoid.
It just depends how confident you are with surfing and how calm the waves are. There's at least 5 different pools on this resort, so definitely make sure you have, I would say, 2 to 3 bathing suits, because you might want to go more than once in a day and nobody wants to put on a wet bathing suit. So just make sure you're thinking about how much time you want to spend at the pool. A lot of the time you want to bring bathing suits that can sort of fit under something else, because let's say you're exploring the island and then you want to go to a different beach, you want to have that with you. So consider how
you can change on the go.
You consider how your bathing suits can transport, and also consider how long you will be wearing them for, because that can make a difference as well in the type of bathing suit you want. I know like a lot of people that I know on vacation, a bikini sort of just becomes what you wear underneath your other clothes, and then you take it off and it's time to go in the water. If you are doing that, don't forget to bring a change of things for after, is also what I would say.
So all the things to consider for swim and beach wear at Aulani, because it's really Aulani and Oahu. I mean, it should be. Again, make sure, and talked about microclimates earlier. We rent a car when we're there for the duration, and when you drive to like Lahaina on the other side of the island, for example, you go through the mountains and it's pouring rain, but only in the mountains, right?
Yeah,
so
you got to have a weather app for the area of the resort, the other side of the island, and then the third side of the island, and they'll all be very different.
Yeah, we've very rarely had rain, knock on wood, at Aulani at this time of the year, so we're lucky. We tend to be May, June, July maybe. All right, and the final one, this is going to be closest to your Disney wear, is casual wear. So this is stuff to wear around the resort and on your day trips, just exploring if you're not swimming. So this is any kind of t-shirts you like, light t-shirts, shorts for guys, comfortable shoes, especially if you're exploring. What are you going to recommend a women consider for their pretty much the biggest part of your wardrobe, I'd say?
I mean, I think just the typical casual wear. There's lots of more athletic things to do. If you want to go on a hike, consider that. You're not going to wear, your Pinterest, linen, nice college shirt outfit hiking up a mountain. I mean, maybe if that's you, go for it. But for the most part, I would assume you're not. So just make sure same thing. You're not trying out any new shoes. So same sort of rules as Disney World. Make sure that you have comfortable shoes. Please, please, please. Typically, I know like the active wear, it's not super rainy, but still like the quick dry stuff in case you want to throw it on top of a bathing suit. All of those different things are good. Typically, the less like things that are billowing and touching your skin, like baggy t-shirts, stuff like that, the better. But it's this is a very personal thing, because casual means something different to everybody else.
And if you're talking about Disney wear, Aulani, yes, it's Disney, but it's not Disney at all. It's very low-key and understated. So you don't have to go heavy on your Mickey Disney merch and clothes. Maybe the kids want to. What is cool, and you see, is if you have sort of Lilo and Stitch or Moana or things that are
those
themed,
are big things there.
Yeah, that can be very good. Or if you like Duffy, the Disney bear, any of those. Duffy's big because we're close to Japan, remember, and he's really big in Japan.
I think they get them ahead of time. I don't know if they're still making new friends for Duffy. I feel like every time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of friends.
Every time I look back, there's a new one that I have not collected. But if you are trying to get one for a little child, yourself, whoever, you might want to look there, because they could have them ahead of World possibly.
My advice personally would be to downscale your volume of Disney themed merch necessarily, and just go more neutral, non-Disney. Bring a few, but not as much as you might for the parks.
I think definitely subtle Disney, if anything.
Yes.
Would be good.
Subtle Disney's great. We love that here. And you don't need matching family shirts there, really.
Yeah. But, like, for example, Aulani would sell, like, the same line and then have, like, a men's Hawaiian shirt and a women's flower pattern dress. I know we have from
nice
same thing.
Designer clothes.
Like, one of our earliest trips, the same matching set, and we would get compliments on it all the time, back when it still fit me. And World being like, where did you get that? Where did you get it at the Polynesian? It's like, no, it's from Aulani, but they're very beautiful pieces, and they're typically different than what you see in the other Disney stores. So if you're looking for something unique that is Disney, maybe shop it there instead of bringing it to there.
So there you have it. Not exactly what you'd pack for a Disney World or Disneyland vacation. So a few things to consider if you're planning an Aulani vacation that you should pack, and how you should pack differently than your typical Disney parks vacation. All right, everyone. Thanks. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. Visit the shop at 1923mainstreet.com. And we'll see you again next week. Have a magical day.
Bye-bye.